We're going to now compose our boards kind of in model space first, and then take it out into paper space, and we could fine tune it there. Before on the cube house project, we took each one of these elements and then made a separate viewport for each one, right? You can put all these close together and have it pretty much as one viewport if you want to. Okay, so we kind of measure this thing out so we know that it will fit onto a 11 by 17 sheet if we use a 16 scale. Okay, so what we're going to do is just to to estimate or guesstimate where our sheet's going to be. We're going to draw an actual sheet that is 11 at 11 comma 17 inches. Okay, so now that's your actual paper compared to your actual size object. Okay, so if I scale this guy out to 192, which will be a 16th inch scale factor, or scale to 16th inch, our 16th inch paper will be something like this. Well, actually exactly like this. Alright, so now we can kind of use this board as our guide for our layout. Okay, so if I go ahead and let's say maybe make a 1/2 inch border. Oh, it's not going to be a 1/2 inch. What I want to do is align all these up, right? So how tall is this thing? This DI distance, so it's about from there to there. It's about 36 feet tall or something, right? So I am going to draw some guidelines and offset this at 16 feet. Offset 36 feet. No, not 36. 40 feet. 45 feet. 43 feet. 42. 42. 42 feet. And that should give us enough area, I think, to set all our stuff down. Let me check to see if it does work. Move window from that to the endpoint of view, and that looks a little tight, right? So maybe we should move it a little bit further down. So move, it was 42, so I'll move it 3 feet down, 3 foot. 45, maybe move it 5 more feet down. Move 5 foot. So that gives us a little bit more comfort zone. So let's set our distance to 50 foot. Copy you from there to there to there, and then I will put a line across somewhere here so I could put each one of these guys at that corner. Alright, so if I move this guy from that corner to the intersection, oh, it's not moving to the intersection. Trim. Okay. So move this guy from there to the endpoint, this guy to the endpoint, this guy to the endpoint, and this guy from that to the endpoint. And since all of these, except for this one, is going to work, I guess, move this from the endpoint to the endpoint. And this one right here, since I don't have that cube, I will use another line to reference that point. Okay, so I can now get rid of these. And notice that if you look at these closely, it does look like a sequential section, like it's been if like we're moving in space and time. If we have more of these, it'll be like a little film clip, right? Each frame tells a different story, and that's kind of what we want to do with this project. Okay, so if I do something like that, I should have enough room for another whatchamacallit here, and copy you over, and then what I could do is to copy my floor plans and roof plans as well, so that this guy, copy this right now, and rotate you 90 degrees, rotate you 90 degrees, rotate you 180 degrees, and now I should be able to match this offset 50 foot. I should be able to match that same elevation, copy to that point, and then this one is this one, so I'll say line that up to that, and move this guy over from here to this, and then copy you over from that to that, and then so the next sequence is, let's see, I got this guy isn't here anymore, so I went from here, 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 so I want to move this one from there to maybe there, see how that works, and then move this guy from here to near there. Okay, so this way I could start setting up a board that will be in 2 pages, right? And it will work, it should work as a composition. Okay, and then maybe move my floor plans into a certain area like so. And with that, I have a set of sections, set of elevations, and set of floor plans, and perhaps label these up, and also putting the floor plane. We don't have an actual floor plane, so we won't deal with that. And now after this process, of course, we are going to have to kind of balance these out on the sheet, right? Yeah. And when you guys move these stuff, you should move it so that it is equal in space, okay? And then perhaps even doing an isometric drawing to explain some of our object. And this part we haven't done yet, but again, same process. We can copy this, not copy this. We can export these from FormZ, just like we did the plans. Okay, so we might do something of a composition like this. Okay. All right. From here, we are going to clean all this up, just like we did with our cube house. We are going to take some of these drawings, right? And we are going to set layers. So file, the current layer. Right now is a good time to do that purge layer stuff. Okay, so purge all, close, and then look, and we have none of that layers left anymore, so that's good. And from here, we're going to create new layers and call it either thick, thin, or thick, middle, thin, or something like that. Line weight 1, line weight 2, line weight 3. So line weight Ah, damn it. LW thick. Make another one. LW thin. Make another layer. LW mid. Okay. So if we do that, then we could set all the different colors as thick as being white, mid being, let's say, cyan, and the thin being red. And that, again, it's up to you on how you set that up, because you're going to create your line weights here. And with the line weights, with the line weights thick, we might go, and since it is going to be a 16th inch drawing, we might say we'll pick the 40 millimeter, see how that works. Okay, and so for the very thin 40, so we might select the 13. That's good. And then for the mid, somewhere in between 13 and 30, so maybe 20 or so. Okay, and with that we have sets of lines picked out. So the very thin, we might have to have another layer called very thin. Let's just make that right now. LW very thin, and set that up as another color, and another line weight very thin as maybe 000. Okay, so with that I have different layers for different layer thickness, or different line thickness weights. Okay, so from here I could start off with the elevation. Okay, so the very furthest line, which are these guys, are going to be changed into the very thinnest of the lines. So very thin. Okay, so the one that is in very front, like these guys, might be set to thick. Okay, as well as maybe these, because it's like pretty much at the same frame anyway. Thick. You know what? I'm going to change that line thickness or the color for the thick, because it's confusing with the layer 0. So I'll select the yellow. Okay. Good. And then so this one is probably going to be the mid, right? Okay. And this one over here might be the mid as well. Or actually maybe, well, let's try this. Let's try this being thin and that being very thin. Okay, so we have different line weights here, and if we preview the line weights thickness, we have something like that, which doesn't help us too much. So we'll do the same thing with all the elevation and all the section as well. Whatever you see up front, you'll see as a very thick line. You see it in the furthest away, you'll see as a far background. Now, you still have the section cuts to do, right? So I will put another layer. I'll create another layer, a poche for section cuts, right? So let's say hatch, and make that into, I'm going to select the 254 color, because I want my section poche to be that gray color. Okay, so I selected that, and then now while I'm in the hatch layer, oh, I can't be in the hatch layer right now. Okay, let me explode this. Explode. Change these guys into the very thick layer. So thick. And same thing here. I'm going to select these guys and turn that into the mid-weight. Turn this guy into the thin, and turn this guy into the very thin. Okay, and with this I'm going to hatch this area right here. So if I say hatch, where's my hatch? There it is. And I'm going to select the solid for this one and hatch bastard. There's something wrong. Something's not closed there. So if I fillet these guys together, hopefully that will work. Hatch, solid, undo, fillet, hatch. It's not doing it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to select the object. Hatch, solid, select these guys, and then there is an option of the boundary. Oops, where is that? Oh, I lost it. Okay, can't seem to find the where I define what to hatch, so I'm gonna try to do it another way and see if that'll work. Copy these guys off to the side, and then hatch this. And then copy the hatch over and move it in there. Okay, that is probably not the correct way to do it, but for now let's just do it that way until I find the command that that I used to use. Okay, regen, and then move the hatch over to the bottom. Draw order, move to back. Okay, so that's what my drawing should look like, and that's what all the drawings should look like. And after we get it to this point, we'll put it back into the paper space and then start adding text to that, and that'll be the next step. Okay.